Hola! My name is Jennifer Robin Lee, and welcome to the Move to Mexico Guide. The very first time I went to Mexico, I had actually been invited by a cousin to join her and her sister in a circus, a traveling circus called Robert's International Circus, or the Mexican National Circus as it was called later on. And so I went down there with another girl from Canada, my cousin's friend, and we just started being Las Vegas type showgirls. We had like the big headdresses and the tights, and I had a gymnastics background, so I did, flips and acrobatic kind of things. We were put up in fancy hotels, and the rest of the circus folks lived on site at the circus in their trailers, their RVs. These were like their mobile homes. They took them everywhere. But we lived in the hotel, and we would taxi back and forth to the shows. And we did about 2 or 3 shows. I think on Sundays and Saturdays we had 3 shows, and weekdays we had a show. And I think the circus was only in town, each city or so, for about 3 weeks. So I wasn't there for very long. Yeah, it was interesting. It was like the carny life, as people would describe it. But going to Mexico was my first time out of Canada, like my first real trip alone, away from everything I was familiar with. So I had a boyfriend at the time, and so I really missed him. I was homesick. I had also had friends and a job and things that I had left behind. So it wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. My cousin made it sound like it was the most awesome thing, and I believed her. I have autism, and I tend to just take what people say truly. And it wasn't like that when I got there. Where I went was an industrial part of Mexico. There was a lot of poverty, and like even, for example, the pet stores. It was a different type of pet store that you would find in Canada. Like, just everything was so different and unusual to me, and I wasn't very comfortable. And in the circus, we weren't actually getting paid like we were supposed to, but they weren't paying us every week. I had some pesos, but not a lot, because I thought I was going to be paid for working in the circus. So I had to really budget my money that I did bring down from Canada. And I had to basically live on carnival food, like hot dogs. And so in Mexico, they would wrap bacon around the hot dog. That was like a fancy thing. So I literally lived on that for pretty much the whole time I was there. So when I discovered that I was kind of working for free, I was not interested in staying long, so I left. When I decided I wanted to leave the circus, my cousin was very angry with me, and she wasn't going to drive me to the airport. I had my ticket, thankfully, and my passport, but I went down to the front desk and asked them if they knew anybody that was going to be leaving to the Monterrey airport, which was quite a drive away. It was about an hour or 2, I remember. And sure enough, there was a businessman who was, and he said, yeah, just come over and we'll pick you up and go. And so I did that. I ran away from the circus, pretty much, literally, just left. And my cousin had no idea where I was, and they were quite upset. But I was 17. I didn't think of the consequences of, that my family would worry or any of that. But I was home, within hours, back in Canada, so things were all good.